Vocabulary. Let's work on our sentences together one by one. In this July came to the hotel one whose card that she sent to the clerk for her name to be registered read Madame Eloise Darcy Beaumont. In July, a lady arrived at the hotel and gave a card to the receptionist to have her name written down. The card said Madame Eloise Darcy Beaumont. For her name to be registered, to have her name written down. Madame Beaumont was a guest such as the Hotel Lotus loved. Madame Beaumont was a guest that the Hotel Lotus especially liked. She possessed the fine air of the elite, tempered and sweetened by a cordial graciousness that made the hotel employees her slaves. She had the elegance of high society, balanced and made gentle by her warm and polite behavior, which made the hotel staff eager to serve her. She had the fine air of the elite, the elegance of high society, tempered and sweetened, balanced and made gentle, softened by kindness, cordial graciousness, warm and polite behavior, made the hotel employees her slaves, made the hotel staff eager to serve her. Bellboys fought for the honor of answering her ring. The clerks, but for the question of ownership, would have deeded to her the hotel and its contents. Bellboys competed for the privilege of responding to her call. The clerks, if the hotel didn't belong to other people, would have given her the hotel and everything in it. Bellboys fought. Bellboys competed. For the honor of answering her ring, for the privilege of responding to her call, but for the question of ownership. If the hotel didn't belong to other people, would have deeded to her the hotel and its contents, would have given her the hotel and everything in it. The other guests regarded her as the final touch of feminine exclusiveness and beauty that rendered the entourage perfect. The other guests saw her as the finishing detail of unique elegance and beauty that made the setting perfect. Regarded her, saw her, as the final touch, as the finishing detail. That rendered the entourage perfect, made the hotel complete. Her presence made the hotel's ambiance ideal. This super excellent guest rarely left the hotel. Her habits were consonant with the customs of the discriminating patrons of the Hotel Lotus. This very special guest hardly ever left the hotel. Her behavior matched the preferences of the selective guests at the Hotel Lotus. This super excellent guest, this very special guest, this outstanding guest, rarely left the hotel, hardly ever left the hotel, stayed at the hotel most of the time. Her habits were consonant with, her behavior matched the customs of the discriminating patrons of the Hotel Lotus, the preferences of the selective guests at the Hotel Lotus. To enjoy that delectable hostelry, one must forego the city as though it were leagues away. To enjoy that delightful hotel, you must forget about the city as if it were very far away. Delectable, delightful, very pleasant. Hostelry, an old word for a hotel. Forgo, to leave behind, not think about. As though it were leagues away, as if it were far away. Leagues, an old measurement of distance. By night, a brief excursion to the nearby roofs is in order. At night, a short trip to the nearby rooftops is a good idea. A brief excursion, a short trip, outing, is in order, is appropriate, is a good idea. But during the torrid day, one remains in the umbrageous fastnesses of the lotus. But during the hot day, one stays in the shady, sheltered areas of the lotus. Torrid day, very hot or scorching. Remains, stays. Umbrageous, shady, shaded or protected from the sun. Fastnesses, sheltered areas, protected spots. As a trout hangs poised in the pellucid sanctuaries of his favorite pool. Like a trout remains still in the clear, safe waters of its favorite pool. A trout, a type of fish, hangs poised, stays motionless. Pellucid, clear, transparent. Sanctuaries, safe protected places. Though alone in the Hotel Lotus, Madame Beaumont preserved the state of a queen whose loneliness was of position only. Even though she was by herself in the Hotel Lotus, Madame Beaumont acted like a queen, and her loneliness was just a matter of status. Though alone, even though she was by herself, preserved the state of a queen. She carried herself with the dignity of a queen. Loneliness was of position only. Loneliness was just a matter of status. She breakfasted at 10, a cool, sweet, leisurely, delicate being who glowed softly in the dimness like a jasmine flower in the dusk. She had breakfast at 10, a calm, gentle, relaxed, delicate person who shone gently in the low light like a jasmine flower in the evening. A cool, sweet, leisurely, delicate being, a calm, gentle, relaxed, delicate person, glowed softly in the dimness, shone gently in the low light, in the dusk, in the evening. But at dinner was Madame's glory at its height. She wore a gown as beautiful and immaterial as the mist from an unseen cataract in a mountain gorge. But at dinner, Madame looked her best. She wore a dress that was beautiful and light, like the mist from a hidden waterfall in a mountain valley. Madame's glory at its height. Madame looked her best. Beautiful and immaterial, beautiful and light. An unseen cataract, a hidden waterfall, in a mountain gorge, in a mountain valley. The nomenclature of this gown is beyond the guess of the scribe. It was a gown that the head waiter viewed with respect and met at the door. The material of this dress is too difficult for the writer to guess. It was a dress that the head waiter admired and greeted at the door. The nomenclature of this gown, the material of this dress, beyond the guess of the scribe, is too difficult for the writer to guess. Viewed with respect, looked at it with admiration, met at the door, welcomed at the door. You thought of Paris when you saw it, and maybe of mysterious countesses, and certainly of Versailles and rapiers and Mrs. Fiske and Rouge et Noir. You remembered Paris when you saw it, and perhaps intriguing noblewomen, and definitely Versailles, long swords, Mrs. Fiske, and roulette. Mysterious countesses, intriguing noblewomen, rapiers, long swords, rouge et noir, roulette. Being a citizeness of the world's smoothest roads, it was small wonder that she was quick to recognize in the refined purlieus of the Hotel Lotus the most desirable spot in America for a restful sojourn during the heat of midsummer. Being accustomed to the best places to travel, it's no surprise that she quickly noticed the elegant areas of the Hotel Lotus as the best place in America for a relaxing stay in the hot summer. Being a citizeness of the world's smoothest roads, being accustomed to the best places to travel. It was small wonder that she was quick to recognize. It's no surprise that she quickly noticed the refined purlieus of the Hotel Lotus, the elegant areas of the Hotel Lotus. Most desirable spot in America for a restful sojourn. The best place in America for a relaxing stay. On the third day of Madame Beaumont's residence in the hotel, a young man entered and registered himself as a guest. On the third day of Madame Beaumont's stay at the hotel, a young man came in and checked in as a guest. Madame Beaumont's residence in the hotel. Madame Beaumont's stay at the hotel. Registered himself as a guest. Checked in as a guest.